my name is Dave Wenhold. I am the president of the American League of Lobbyists here in Washington, D.C. It is the national organization for those professionals that work in the government relations and lobbying fields. I'm also the co-founder of Miller Wenhold Capital Strategies, which is a lobbying firm in Washington. We do appropriations, education, telecom, small business issues, pretty much everything that any lobbying firm would do. Lobbying here in Washington is a huge industry. And in America, last year alone, federal lobbyists had about $3.5 billion worth of business. And that's just the ones that reported. That means the federally registered lobbyists, not grassroots, which was probably another couple $1 billion as well. I'll give you some stats real quick because I think it's really interesting. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce spent $124 million last year alone, just them lobbying. Exxon spent about $27 million, and AARP, which is the retired folks organization, they spent $21 million themselves. There are about 13,000 lobbyists here in Washington, D.C. There's probably another 20 or 30,000 out in the states as well. So it's quite a big business, and it has to be because in Washington alone, there are about 5,000 bills introduced every session. You look at the healthcare bill, it was, 17 pounds of paper, and it was one bill though. So everybody had a little piece of that bill, including our firm, but that's why you need a lobbyist. You need a lobbyist there to be able to get through the minutia and make sure that every aspect of that is investigated. Most legislators can't read through that much legislation and don't know the impact. And that's why lobbying is so important here. Here in Washington, there's no formal education to become a lobbyist. Basically what happens is people work on Capitol Hill for a while, realize they have this body of knowledge that they can utilize, and then they go back out and say, I can actually utilize this, put my skills in education or appropriations or small business, what I've learned up on Capitol Hill, to use. The American League of Lobbyists, what we've done is we've put together a lobbying certificate program that basically talks about the basics of lobbying. That's very important because people who have been doing it for 20 years may pick up something new. And that program has been going very, very well. President Obama came in and said, look, there will not be any lobbyists in my White House. We're going to curb influence. And right out of the gate, he came out with an executive order. The first day he was in office talking about banning lobbyists from certain jobs, which was kind of short-sighted because he was banning subject matter experts from being in their fields. They said, Dave, you can come work at the White House if you want, but you can't work in education or a small business. But we'll put you in charge of transportation where you don't have any experience. Doesn't make sense. So we've been fighting Obama on not just that, but during our stimulus package, which was a major deal, it was an $800 billion package, he tried to keep lobbyists out of it. And we actually took him to task on that and almost went to court on an unconstitutional founding because you can't omit people just because of a job title. We're subject matter experts, and I was the front guy challenging the White House on this. I'm really looking forward to this trip. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to interact with colleagues from the region in Croatia to talk about the lobbying that's going on there and solutions that we can work together. Lobbying is essential to any democracy or any country. The government's doing something to you or for you every day, and we need to be active in making sure that our clients and our people are well represented. It's going to be a great symposium, and I'm really looking forward to the visit.